Well, it's 9:18, and NU107 is DWNU FM at 107.5 megahertz. A loud and proud member of the KBP, NU107FM.com on the web. This is Gang, and welcome to Rock Ed Radio. Yay, I'm solo. For now, I'm solo, but Erwin Romulo is on his way. And Lourdes de Vera will hang out, but he will speak when he wants to. And with me, it's a very interesting show we have tonight because we are going to swing the scale. Imagine we have with us already here in the studio actually Independent presidential aspirant Nick Perlas. And then at 10 o'clock, we're going to have the Lakas Kampi CMD president, Governor Migs Dominguez. Lakas, for those of you who don't know, Lakas Kampi CMD is the ruling party, but here we have an alleged bottom dweller. That's a term, and you hate that term, I know. Please welcome on air Mr. Nick Perlas.
I would rather consider... Yeah, thank you.
Yay! Okay, you'd rather consider...
It the principal dweller.
The principal dweller. I like that. That's a much better term. There's something wrong with my mic, but that's okay. So we have a lot of questions sent in for you, but first say hi to people who are listening. Did you tell anyone you were coming over?
Yes, actually we had a text blast and an email blast telling our supporters of the interview this evening. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I see there are a few supporters of yours outside. And actually, if you want to join the conversation, go ahead and text us. NUMSG space to 29107 or 0917-734-6742. Tama ba yun? 0917-734-6742 or tweet us at Rocket Radio on Twitter.com. Okay, is he related to Eric Perlas of Tower of Doom? Wait. Tower of Doom is a wild punk band, isn't it?
Yeah, he's my nephew.
No.
He's the son of my brother. And he's really great.
Oh, you hardly look the Tower of Doom type to me, Mr. Perlas. Oh, so yeah. Eric Perlas is your nephew.
Yes.
Oh, that really kills off all my preconceived notions of you. You look like a nerd, Mr. Perlas.
I'd rather use the term geek.
Geek. Sorry,
There's a difference
geek.
between a nerd and a
geek.
geek.
What's the difference between a nerd and a geek? Please enlighten us.
Yeah, a nerd is, is a computer techie, but has no social skills.
But a geek
has both. Yeah. That's the difference.
Where did you get that definition? Is that true?
Yeah, that's a Silicon Valley definition. A distinction. So they would rather call, for example, the founders of Google as a geek.
As geek.
Rather than as nerds.
Okay, since we're a Silicon Valley formed world and generation, we might as well believe that definition. Nick Perlas, marunong ka ba daw managalog?
Marunong naman, gang.
Sa unang word ba? Nabulol ka?
Hindi, marunong talaga. Marunong.
Okay. Kasi...
Hindi lang Tagalog, marunong mag-Ilonggo, kabalo ko mag-Ilonggo, kamao ko magsulti isang Binisaya. So I speak three Philippine languages.
Doon kita sa Visayas ngayon, karon.
At madunggan Manila kita din na. Sa Cebu o sa Mindanao.
Cebu, Cagayan de Oro.
Wow.
Where else have we heard nga?
Anywhere around the world if you're listening.
Oh, if you're online, you can hear us.
Okay, great.
Then let's just use English for now. Nahirapan na kasi. Dun sa unang forum, I was so amused kasi I've never seen you speak straight Tagalog, pero Ilonggo nakita.
Yeah.
Ang dami mong po. Sabi ko naman si Nick Perlas, sobrang galang nito, puro po. Anyway.
You notice mo natanggal na after.
I know, kasi I kept saying, dami namang po nito. Yeah. Anyway, that's all right. Nick Perlas, you finally declared your intention to become the next president of the Philippines. Is that right? You want to do this? It's a toothy job, man. Why do you want to be president of the Philippines?
Well, I think after thinking about it for almost 10 years.
10 years?
People had been edging me on for so many years, and I felt that the time was necessary because the system actually itself.
People are colleagues and people you work with, not just relatives kasi hindi counted yan kung relatives. Siyempre mami mo, sabihin niya.
Hindi.
Kaya mo.
My mom is dead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hindi siya kasama doon.
Okay. Well, scary naman kung kasama mo siya doon. Well, may she rest in peace, ma'am. Anyway, also, everybody's amazed that you're Eric Perlas' uncle.
Right.
Wow. Tower of Doom, by the way, is a very loud and proud band. And here, I read up on you, and I know you have known you for a few years now, and many people always say that you were instrumental in stopping the creation of 19 nuclear plants in the country since the Marcos era. Can you tell us about this?
Yeah, that's not factually accurate. It's 12.
At 12, not 19.
19.
Okay, 12,
Yeah.
12 nuclear plants.
We see Marcos had a...
Seven
more.
7 less. Sige.
Yeah. So Marcos had a dream of having nuclear power throughout the Philippines.
Okay.
And so he envisioned having 12 nuclear power plants. And the first nuclear power plant that he constructed was the Bataan nuclear power plant.
And it sits there now.
And it sits
like
there.
a great
And when
structure.
Yes.
It's
And
not
so-
It's not nothing, no?
No, it's not operational.
Nice white box.
Yeah, it's
by
a
the
big
bay.
white elephant. It has so many
What elephants? Where? Okay, so the first was constructed Bataan nuclear power plant, which I heard was on top of a of a fault. Is that right? On an earthquake fault?
Yeah, several earthquake faults in the slope of a dormant volcano, Mount Natin.
So which brilliant man chose that location?
No, this is the thing. When something's done out of corruption, you don't do the proper checks and balances.
Okay.
I got involved in that issue because in my master's thesis in UPLB on energy, I found out about the project and started writing
So
about
when you
it.
found out about the project, what year was it? They were still building it, right?
Yes,
Just,
they just started it.
groundbreaking pa lang, ganyan or something.
No, meron na rin.
May structure na.
They were constructing the concrete vessel.
And how, may I ask, because it's claimed on your site, how did you stop the creation of these nuclear power plants?
Okay, so basically the 11 other nuclear plants were already removed from the drawing board when we developed so much global controversy on the first nuclear plant.
On the Bataan nuclear
On the
power
Bataan,
plant,
so-
which I believe Westinghouse is involved in.
Yes,
a few
Westinghouse.
families from Bataan.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
okay.
Marcos was bribed $40 million by Westinghouse.
Oh.
We took the case to court, and we lost, I think, in terms of a
Well,
home
which
hometown.
court if we're suing Westinghouse?
New Jersey.
In New Jersey.
Yeah.
You did this?
As part of the presidential committee in on the Philippine nuclear power plant.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a technical consultant at the time. Yeah, and
Wow.
we had over 300,000 pages of proof that Marcos was bribed by Westinghouse.
How many pages do you need to prove a bribe? How many pages did you say?
300,000.
Wow.
Including the secret codes that were used for the bribery, including the guy who bribed Marcos testified in our behalf.
Himself?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's pretty amazing.
Including the guy who said, "Hello, Mr. Marcos, I would like to pay you some money. Please put up a nuclear power plant and use our company."
No, he said, please choose Westinghouse.
Westinghouse, because
Yes.
they were bids.
Yes, there were bids with GE and the Westinghouse plant. Yeah.
So, sa utak ko, parang washing machine lang yung mga dito, Bataan nuclear power plant. And it also says, Mr. Perez, the tough questions are coming in, but let me
Sure.
get to know you first.
Yeah.
It says here that you are also instrumental in banning poisonous and dangerous pesticides that affect farmers.
Yes.
But these still go on, right?
Yeah, there's still pesticides going on.
Like yung sa air, they were
The aerial spraying.
aerial spray. They
of
were
banana
having
plantation.
they were having a protest on that in Bukidnon, I believe, or Davao.
Davao.
So tell us about this. What is this claim about, that you're instrumental in banning poisonous and dangerous pesticides that affect farmers?
Yeah, there were 32 pesticide formulations that were actually banned in Germany, in Switzerland, and the United States.
And we use it here?
And they dumped it in here.
Hale.
And so when we found out about that, and we showed the proof that this was really deleterious to the health, it was a massive campaign because the pesticide companies here lost several billions of pesos every year because of the ban. And they were affected.
So the ban, I'm sorry, I need to interrupt. The ban was declared by then President Corazon Aquino, or which president?
Department,
the DAR under who?
The Secretary of Agriculture, Bacani.
Under
Senate Bacani.
Which administration?
I think the still Cory Aquino.
Oh, it's still Cory Aquino. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. But this is a stupid question because I'm not agriculturally well-read. How do I
No
say
problem.
this? When they use poisonous and dangerous pesticides that kill the pest, when it affects the health of the farmers, doesn't it directly affect the plant, like the rice thing? What do you call
Yeah.
it? Hindi ba? But doesn't it follow?
Yes. For example, just to take the example of the area spraying in Davao.
In Davao, which is ongoing till now, but
ongoing.
very much protested.
It's a controversy. You know, the statistics are showing that most of those pesticides don't really hit the pest. Most of them are just flowing to the waters, into the houses, and so on, polluting the rivers and the streams and people's houses.
Most of it?
Most, yeah.
Why? They don't